Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to Locks Lux Lifestyle. Welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a part 2 of my truth about manifesting video. So if you haven't seen that video, in that video I just talked about the power of our words as it relates to leveling up, as it relates to accomplishing our goals this year. And I also told you guys that I will be doing a part 2, giving you guys some more tools and things to consider when it comes to accomplishing your goals in 2022. So yes, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into it.
As the sun shines on all of my glory, my flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
So yes, again, in this video, I'm going to be giving you some of my personal tools that I use as it relates to like reprogramming your mind to really get into a space to accomplish your goals. So I have about 5 talking points and we are going to get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about in regards to accomplishing your goals and reprogramming your mind is planning. I'm gonna say it again. The first thing you need to do is plan. I hear so many people talking about what they want to do.
I want to do this. I want to do this. This year I'm going to do this. This year I want to do this.
And then if you ask them like, well, what have you done so far to get those things done? They don't have an answer for you. Like, people really underestimate how important planning is. What's the saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's that simple. Desire is not enough to accomplish your dreams, all right? You can talk about it, you can want it, but desire is not enough. You have to put certain action behind it. There's going to be work to do to really get those things accomplished. And planning is as simple as writing it down. Every year, I get me a new journal, I get me a new notebook, where I can just write out ideas, write out my goals. And once you write it down, you can really start organizing your thoughts and organizing how to get it done. And I think many people get intimidated when it comes to like planning and organizing, but at the same time, we have so many resources, we have so many tools, planners, journals, so many things that can help you organize your thoughts if you're not really good at doing that. So if you have an idea, if you have goals, you want to plan them. And the reason this is so important because this is going to be like a measuring stick. I still keep all of my journals with like all of my goals, and I would write down goals years ago, and for a while I would think that nothing was happening, and then like I'll go read my journal from like 3-4 years ago and I'll see how many things I accomplished. And although they weren't happening at that time, or I thought I wasn't working towards them, in hindsight when I look back, it's like, okay, I was able to do everything I wanted to do. But it started with me actually writing it down. Another good tool that you can use, vision boards. I kind of think of it as marketing. You know, if you're watching TV, you just ate, you're not hungry, but you see a commercial about some food, you're gonna be hungry. And it's something in like the psychology and the science and just your subconscious and your conscious level. So do that with your goals. Create that vision board so you can constantly see it to market to your brain on a subconscious and a conscious level. Now, I didn't do a actual physical vision board, but I seen my friend repost something about a digital vision board. So I found a little collage app on my phone, gathered a bunch of pictures, put it on the collage, saved the photo, and I have it set as my home screen and my lock screen. So many of us, we are on our phones all the time. So now every time I pick up my phone, every time I do something with my phone, I have a digital vision board of the things that I want to accomplish this year. So step 1, as it relates to accomplishing your goals and reprogramming your mind, plan it. Desire is not enough. All right, now moving on to my second talking point, and this is what really takes you from desire to action, and that is getting into the right mind space. You have to look at your goals and think like, what type of lifestyle does it require for me to accomplish this goal, right? So for me, one thing that I started a few years ago was being more solution oriented. So I could be a crybaby sometimes. You know, when you're working on stuff and things are not going your way, it's really easy to get frustrated. And once you get frustrated, it's really easy to give up. And so I felt like for a long time, I had the desire to want to do certain things. But then when I would put in some effort and things didn't plan out the way that I wanted or that I thought it would, I would get frustrated and then I would just give up. You're allowed to feel your emotions. If you're upset, if you're mad about something, absolutely feel that. But I also had to make a switch in my mind to say, okay, I'm mad about it, but I have to be solution oriented. How do I fix this? How do I go back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong? Where can I make tweaks? What do I need to do to find a better solution? What does that lifestyle require? So in my early 20s, I was very goal specific. So I would have a list of goals and I would find that I would accomplish my goals. However, once I accomplished them, I would still feel empty. I still wouldn't be fulfilled. And as I got older, I realized that my goals weren't aligned with the actual lifestyle that I desired. I was making goals based on what society told me that I needed to do, what was going to make me successful. But those things weren't really in line to the lifestyle that I personally desired to live. So even though I was accomplishing goals that society told me were the right things to do, I wasn't happy. So now, like within these last couple of years, I've been really focused on my lifestyle, right? Regardless of what I do, regardless of my occupation, regardless of who's in my life, who's not in my life, I want a certain type of lifestyle. I told you guys before in other videos, one of the constant things that I'm seeking is peace, right? I want to be in a peaceful environment. I want to be content. Doesn't mean that I don't desire more things, but there's just a certain level of peace, love, contentment, and joy that I desire for my lifestyle, regardless of what I have in the current moment. So I've had to learn how to use what I have. So one thing that I do is, like, I always envision my highest self, right? When I think of myself in my highest form, what does that look like? And how do I translate that into my daily habits currently? Make sure that your goals are aligned with the actual type of lifestyle that you desire. Don't just set goals because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. And then I find that when I live my life based on the lifestyle that I desire, my goals start to fall in line, and because I'm already practicing the habits that I need for that lifestyle, I easily start knocking off my goal list. So yes, when you're getting in the right mind space, you have to create the right environment. So one thing I like to do are affirmations. I have a affirmation channel, which I will link down below if you guys are interested. But start your morning with different affirmations. Make sure you're doing devotionals regularly. I have to do things that constantly put me in the mindset of this lifestyle, that constantly put me in the mindset that's aligned with my highest self. I have to cut off anything that is not aligned with that lifestyle. So whether it's people, whether it's activities, if I need to take breaks, I need to not indulge in certain type of content or social media, things of that nature, I have to cut it off. You have to really assess your life. What do I want to be? What do I want to accomplish? And what are the things that are not aligned with that? And how do I start making adjustments? Okay, so my third talking point is discipline. So I touched on this a lot in the first video where I just talked about the importance of discipline, not only on the front end, not only as it relates to what is aligned with your goals, but also discipline in the things that you think are completely unrelated. When it comes to leveling up your lifestyle, when it comes to really accomplishing your goals, you have to remain disciplined in all areas of your life, regardless of how much work or energy you put in towards that specific goal. Eventually, those unhealthy habits or lack of discipline in certain areas will spill over. So one thing that I like to do to help myself stay disciplined is to hold myself accountable. And so that means holding myself accountable for everything. So if I say I'm gonna get up and wash these dishes at 7 o'clock and cook dinner, then at 7 o'clock I need to get up, wash the dishes, and cook dinner. I know for me personally, I have the tendency to bargain with myself. I would talk myself out of things because I don't feel like doing it, and in my mind it just seemed real rational, right? But I have to learn how to stop doing that, because what I've noticed is when I try to bargain with myself in areas that I think don't matter, when it comes to the work that I need to put in towards my goals, I'll start taking shortcuts, bargaining with myself, thinking that certain aspects aren't as important. When it comes to being disciplined, you have to literally hold yourself accountable to everything that you say and do. And so that means that if it's something that I'm unsure about, I'm not gonna speak on it just yet, because once I verbalize that and once I tell myself something, then I have to hold myself accountable to that. Once you understand the power your words have, you'll start holding yourself more accountable to the things that you say. The fourth thing I want to talk about is investing and the importance of investing, and not only financially. I feel like when we talk about investing, it's always from a financial standpoint, but the importance of investing in yourself overall. So that's going to be financially, that's going to be mentally, that's going to be spiritually, that's going to be physically. Whatever type of skills you have, you want to invest in those skills. I have a different video where I talked about spiritual gifts and how a lot of us, we have spiritual and natural gifts that we either don't know about or they're underdeveloped, and that's because we do not spend enough time investing in ourselves. One of my constant prayers is God use me, right? Something very simple. God use me. I want to be able to do everything that you designed and purposed me to do. So if I want to know like my purpose, if I want to, if my prayer is to be able to do everything that I was designed to do, that means that I need to spend more time investing in getting to know my creator, getting to know my maker. And the more that I do that, like, I just feel like he reveals more and more to me every day. And the more he reveals to me, the more that he shows me, I've literally become like obsessed with being the best version of myself. And I have to work on that, because if you get too obsessed, you know, you can be really hard on yourself. But overall, like, the more I get to know God, I see my reflection. I get to learn more things about myself. And the more that starts getting revealed to you, like, the more you just want to do, the better you want to become. So when it comes to leveling up, when it comes to going to new heights and new levels in your life and your journey, you have to invest in yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. You have to get to know your creator. You have to get to know your maker. Understand why you were really put here. And once you start getting that information, once those things start becoming revealed to you, like, I feel like I just navigate a lot easier than I did, like, say, in my early 20s. And again, I still have issues. I be having my hiccups. They're always going to be there, but it's just a level of it's just a certain level of security that I had that I didn't have at one point in my life. A few other things that I have been using to help me better invest in myself, like I said, is just getting to know more about myself. So I have these two books that I like to use. So this first one is Burn After Writing. How honest can you be when no one is watching? Push your limits, reflect on your past, present, and future, and create a secret book that's about you and just for you. And when you're finished, toss it, hide it, or burn after writing. So it's basically just like a book with different questions. If I could choose to stay a certain age forever, it would be 5 things I need in my life, 5 things I want in my life. It's really just random questions and little puzzles and things, but in the process you really get to know about you. I feel like we all have different like quirks and things about ourselves that we really don't know why we have it, or we have certain thoughts that we don't always verbalize, or we don't have a safe space to do it. And so yes, this just allows you to kind of learn about those different quirks about yourself, be able to release those certain thoughts. I also have another one that is 3,000 questions about me, and I purchased this at Target, and it's literally a book with 3,000 questions. What's harder today than it was yesterday? What keeps you interested in your goals or dreams? What do you need to learn to make time for? Random questions about yourself that you never really think to ask. And these books are just fun to do in general, but I also like them because the more that I use them, because I have a space where I can let out certain thoughts, or I can think about certain things that I've never thought about as it relates to myself. It just helps me to better understand myself and to better articulate myself. When you know how to really articulate who you are, your wants, your needs, your desires, that will transfer over into other areas of your life. So if you have certain relationship goals, if you know how to better articulate yourself, better articulate the things that you need, you can better communicate that with your partner. If you have certain professional goals, if you know how to better articulate who you are, you can better sell yourself, or you know your worth as it relates to whatever your job is. You can bargain better, like you know your worth. And one thing that I have learned through this journey is like how to negotiate. I used to suck at negotiating, and it's still not one of my biggest strong points, mainly because I'm very like non-confrontational. So I'll either just take it, or if I feel like it's not for me, then I'll just leave it as is. But once you know your worth, then learning how to negotiate is an asset that you need. Just like yesterday, I was writing, a company had reached out to me about a collaboration, and I feel like back in the day, I would have just took the deal, whatever they offered, I just would have accepted it, because it might have seemed like, it would seem like something good. But once you start to know your worth, when you know what you're capable of, like as I was reading everything that they were requiring, I'm like, I just simply cannot accept what you're offering me, because I know the type of quality that I can put into it. I know my strengths, I know my gifts, and I know how to use my gifts for their purpose. And because I know how to do that, you are not going to, what's the word? I don't want to say misuse my gifts, but you are not going to take advantage of that. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is timing. And this is probably the most important thing. So you have the desire, you know what you want, you've organized it, you're putting in the work, you're investing, you're learning, you're growing, and nothing's happening, then you really have to just yield to timing. Just trust the overall timing of your life. I had goals that I would write down years ago, and I felt like they weren't gonna happen. And then when I look back and I look at certain goal lists, I've crossed off everything on that list. And part of it was just timing. What's meant for you is for you, and when it's meant to happen, it will happen. And that is just such a hard pill to swallow. So many of us, we are very impatient. I know I can get very impatient, especially when I feel like I can do something and I just want to get it done and it's not happening, and it's like, why isn't this happening? Why isn't this happening? And the reality is that it's just not its time. And although you may feel like on the surface that you are ready, I always think of it like, well, if I'm doing everything right and it's still not happening, then that means that I'm not doing something right, or that maybe there's a lesson in this that I'm not learning. I was not in a space to receive what I was asking for, or what I thought I desired, or what I thought I wanted. But once I started to trust the overall plan of my life, I just remember like at certain points in my time, I just felt like everything was falling apart. But in the process, I was really learning, I was growing, I was learning about myself. There were lessons that I had to learn, whether they were personal, business, whatever type of lesson it is. There were things that I had to learn along the journey before those things actually happened. A lot of times we want what we want when we want it and we fumble it because it wasn't our time to have it. And so if you believe that that's what you're meant to have, then trust that it's gonna happen at the designed hour, at the designed time. But yes, that is it for this video, you guys. These are just some of the tools and things that I have been using as it relates to my growth and my journey, leveling up, accomplishing my goals, and just living the overall lifestyle that I desire to live. These are just some things that I personally utilize to help reprogram my mind so that I can get in a space to receive these things. So yes, thank you all so much for watching. If you have anything that you want to add that kind of helps you get into the right space as it relates to leveling up and accomplishing your goals, then definitely leave that down in the comment section. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Snatched by Sharmel, and I will see you all in my next video.